It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. It's the only daily boxing talk show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of boxing talk radio. Talkin' Boxing with Billy C is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
There we are. We're coming to you live from the Billy C Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C Show. Good morning, good day, good evening. Whenever you listen, I hope you're doing all right. I hope you had a great holiday and New Year's, of course. But we're back, better than ever. Although it didn't seem that way in a couple of seconds ago when I wasn't getting my sound right. But the bottom line is we're here. And today's show is being brought to us in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant located on beautiful St. Simon's Island in Georgia. Check out his website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com. Or give my man a call, 912-268-2328. 912-268-2328. Find out why I go all the way to St. Simon's to get an authentic Italian meal. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by our next Billy C Boxing event. It's our holiday after the holidays party. Yeah, that's what it is. And it's perfect for people that live in the Northeast because I've been freezing my tushy off the last couple of weeks up here in the Nord country. And I can't wait. Go down to St. Simon's. We are doing a live event. We want you part of it, and we'll have it at the Sea Palms Resort. It's taking place on Friday night, January 19th. Go up to the seapalms.com to get the number and demand the Billy C discount. Join us, because I can't wait to get down there. And finally, today's show is being brought to us in part by my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold. And you can get a copy of this book right now while you're watching the show or while you're listening to the show. You can do it all at once. All you got to do is go to barnesandnoble.com or amazon.com or go to our website or email me, Billy at talkinboxing, TALKINBOXING.com, and you'll get your own copy. Coming up on the show today, now this week, I'm behind. Normally we do our blast from the past on Wednesday, but, the holiday threw us off a day, so we'll double check on that. We got some new segments we're going to be unveiling next week. We'll give you a lowdown on that. But first, I want to talk about some of the stuff in the news. I got a bunch of emails to read, as you would expect. We got some comments from other fighters talking about what I want to talk about today. Anthony Joshua against Joseph Parker, a world heavyweight title, a unification fight. We've been hearing about it going every other day. Oh, it's 10% done. Oh, it's 20% done. Oh, it's 90% done. Today it's 95% done. But some of the issues here that I wanted to discuss was to back up some of the things we had said last year and the last time we were doing. Listen, Joseph Parker wanted a 50-50 split, similar to what Deontay Wilder wants to fight Anthony Joshua. Nobody believes he deserves that. And it went back and forth, and, we talked about it on this show. We thought maybe he should accept a fixed amount. The guy never made $2 million, just like Deontay Wilder. But it was announced that apparently they cut a deal. Anthony Joshua's team wants this fight so bad that they cut a deal, and the purse split is actually something I don't think they should have done. The purse split is a total revenue split, and it's somewhere between 30 and 35% going to Joseph Parker, with the rest going to AJ. So assuming, just for argument's sake, let's say it's a 70-30 split of total revenue, that could be big bucks. We're talking, $30 million, $40 million. I think Joseph Parker is going to make out pretty well. Joining me right now from a location that's much warmer than where I am, my man Sal, Rocky, Cenicola. Happy New Year, Sal.
And a Happy New Year to you too, Billy C. How are you, my friend?
Hey, listen, I'm doing good. I'm a little chilly. Hey, listen, last week we were talking about Joseph Parker against Anthony Joshua. We both felt that Parker should accept a fixed amount of money. Was demanding a 50-50 split. We talked extensively about the drawing power of AJ, et cetera, et cetera. And now it's been reported that it's looking like he's going to be getting somewhere between 30 and 35% of the revenues. Joseph Parker, that is. I think that's a fantastic deal for him, maybe overpaying him. And then I think that the best person out of this whole scenario, the guy who is in the best position right now, is Deontay Wilder. Because if Joseph Parker can get a 30-35% split, why can't Deontay Wilder get his 50-50 split? What's your thoughts on this?
I think it's tremendous. I think it's a great opportunity for Joseph Parker. And, to be on a world stage against what debatably is one of the greatest heavyweight champions standing in the ring today, aside from the two he's going to face hopefully this year. And I think it's great. I mean, he's got to go home very, very healthy with his pocketbook or wallet, no matter what if he loses or wins. So the bottom line is, and it will leverage him in the future too. So, he can only gain from this fight. And I think monetarily speaking, he sets his stage for a new benchmark.
Well, my point here is that it's actually better for Deontay Wilder, because yes, Deontay Wilder at least is no disrespect to Joseph Parker, but Deontay Wilder's got a much more recognizable name, even though he's not that recognizable in generalized sports world, but he's definitely more known than Joseph Parker. And if they're willing, they meaning AJ is willing to give Parker a 30% split or a 35% split, don't you think that Deontay Wilder could possibly get his 50-50 split? I mean,
yes,
it kind of seems that way.
Based on that, we're not talking anything less than 40, maybe 50% up to that, and I agree. For all intents and purposes, maybe AJ, I don't think he'll be too petty over a couple percentage points here or there, but I think definitely between 35 and 50%, definitely we see Deontay Wilder having a lot of leverage there from where we set the benchmark with Joseph Parker at the 35%. So that's what I meant by benchmark. So I think AJ and Deontay Wilder definitely will be a very good even distribution of the wealth. Or the purse, I should say.
Well, some of the comments that were made now on Joseph Parker, his promoter, Paul Higgins, said that I'm sorry, David Higgins. I don't know why I said Paul Higgins. He said that he's confirming that the split is between 30 and 35-ish percent of the revenues. He says we're coming close to in the middle of that. So I would think that that's 32.5%. But he said that the bottom line is we have that part of it set. What we don't have set is a location or a date. But the two dates, apparently they're saying that the fight would not take place sooner than March 31st, but no later than April 28th. So obviously it's going to fall sometime in April. As for the location, they said that it's most likely going to be in the UK or someplace in Europe. But they're thinking that if Saudi Arabia, which rumored to come in to pay $100 million for the fight, they may have it there. They've said that before, but they haven't anteed up any actual coin. I don't see this fight taking place anywhere other than the UK. What's your thoughts, Sal?
Well, of course, the natural venue would be the UK. I think they can maximize the live gate there, of course. But then again, hey, has there ever been really any big world ranked or title fight held in Saudi Arabia? That would draw the way this one would? I don't think so. So that would be an interesting venue. And we know they do have a lot of money over there that they can invest in.
Well, I think that it doesn't matter how much of a draw it is. If they're throwing $100 million at the promoter, they don't care if there's an empty stadium. They get their money.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Right. So I don't. I'm not so sure there. But one thing, we're going to take a short break here. But the one thing that they're waiting on to get this deal done, they've agreed on the split. They've agreed on the potential locations, wherever they may be, the dates, all of that has been agreed on. There's one stumbling block left, and it's an interesting one, Sal. We're going to talk about that as soon as we get back from break. So don't go anywhere.
Billy C will be right back.
Broken air conditioning, $4,400. Failing refrigerator, $2,500. Don't let outrageous repair and replacement bills like these bust your budget. Get the First American Home Warranty Plan. And when a covered appliance or system breaks, we'll repair it or replace it for you.
We had a high-end dishwasher go kaput. They put it in a brand new dishwasher.
We have plans that cover air conditioning, most appliances, plus heating, plumbing, electrical systems, and much more. Plans start as low as $25 a month. Why let a major appliance or system breakdown bust your budget or go through the hassle of finding trustworthy service people? Last year alone, we saved our customers over $120 million. Don't wait until something breaks and you're stuck with a huge bill.
You save a lot of money. It's absolutely worth it.
If you don't have First American Warranty, get it.
Call 1-800-946-6234 for your free no-obligation quote.
This is important news for women using birth control medications and devices. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with a pseudotumor after using one of these birth control drugs or devices, you may be eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Contact the law firm of Davis & Crump right now if you or a loved one have used one of these birth control medications or devices and were diagnosed with a pseudotumor to see if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Listen to this important message. If you owe money to the IRS, you will want to hear this. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms, and if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars. Call Tax 10,000 at 800-773-4604.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us. And before we went to break, I said that there's one thing looming for the official announcement and fully signing of the unification heavyweight world title fight between Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker. And Sal put in on the chat room they thought it was the distribution of the ring card girls. But no, it wasn't that, Sal. But you're kind of close. It's over the officials. Apparently, they said that they had a gut feel. They said that they want to have well, here's the deal. Hearn, who's Anthony Joshua's guy, wanted to have one ringside judge to be from Joshua's home country of the UK, one from Parker, his home country of New Zealand, and one neutral. Team Parker says that they would prefer all three of the judges and the referee to be neutral. I would think that they should all be neutral. What do you think, Sal?
You know, I said earlier when we used to have some debates, even before Bird with her bad call. You know, I don't see really anything less than having three judges, one neutral, one from each fighter's country, home country. That I have no problem with that. That's fine. If you do three neutral judges, then that's fine too. But at least it should be from one of the fighter's home country and one neutral judge. So you have your three right there, or three neutral. Either one, I could be very comfortable with.
You see, by having a judge from your home country and having a judge from your opponent's home country, to me, it gives the assumption that they are going to be scoring in favor of their guy. And then the neutral judge is the guy that's going to be the honest guy, the neutral guy, the guy that doesn't have any connection. And then all of a sudden we wonder why we get these scores that are out of whack. One has it for one guy, one has it for the other, and the other has it even. Yeah, we got to draw. In a fight of this magnitude, I don't want any pointing the fingers at the judges, because what we see a lot of times, Sal, is you see a close fight. You have two judges that are within reason of each other's scorecards, and then that third one comes out of left field, and then everybody's yelling, screaming. It was a robbery. It was this. It was that. Whereas the fight was actually close. I think three neutral judges and a neutral referee is the answer here. I just think that seems the most fair. Now, with that said, what really defines neutrality? I mean, for somebody that's considered a neutral judge, how many times have we seen an incompetent judge or an incompetent referee brought in to the picture? So I don't know, but this is apparently what the deal is hanging on right now. So it seems to me that AJ's side is adamant about having one and one neutral. And Parker's side is trying to push for three neutral plus a neutral referee. I kind of agree with Parker's side.
Well, it's a good point. It's a good debated issue too. And like I said, I just don't want Adeline Bird there. But the bottom line is, I think that having three neutral judges and a neutral referee is fine. Is great. But if there had to be anything less than that, I could see one judge from each representative country. So I think that it is what it is, and we're not going to have any say in the matter. So we'll see what they do. But I could see Parker's stance on that.
One other thing that has been agreed upon, both fighters have signed off on random drug testing by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, and that there's a rematch clause in the contract should Anthony Joshua lose. So if he wins, Parker's out of luck. If he loses, they get a rematch. And speaking of Anthony Joshua, most places, including myself, had voted Anthony Joshua against Vladimir Klitschko as fight of the year for 2017. There were a lot of great fights in 2017, Sal, but I agree, not only because I already said it was my fight of the year. I think that not only was it an exciting fight, I think the ramifications and the long-term effects on the sport itself is what propelled it, in my opinion, as the fight of the year. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I use my own judgment, my own meter, man. But any fight that gets me jumping off the couch or so, yelling, screaming, it could qualify as a fight of the year for me. And that was one of the fights that did it for me. Yeah, I think it definitely warranted. I think it got. I don't know if I saw on ESPN that it got round of the year. One of the fights, one of the rounds in that fight. But no, I agree. There was There was hardly any fights that could really top that kind of excitement. But there were a lot of great fights, and for me, that was probably one of the best.
The fighter of the year for a lot of different vehicle avenues, I should say, Vasily Lomachenko. 3 one-sided world title defenses for 2017. The points were that the fights were stopped. Fighter of the year. A lot of people also have him as the number 1 pound for pound. Other fighters that you could put in that mix, really, in my opinion, just one, Terence Crawford. What's your thoughts of Vasily Lomachenko, for the most part, getting Fighter of the Year for 2017?
I could agree. I have no problem with that one. I mean, the guy does it all, and even for a guy that has no punching power, he does stop his opponents by just wearing them down and breaking them down. He's a consummate boxer, and he is in the position to exchange and throw punches at will. And he slips them, he blocks them, he avoids them, and he's right in the pocket, ready to fire his guns. And he's got a great sense of his whereabouts in the ring. He's a general, ring general, and I think defensively, I think he can take a shot. I think he's very good, very evasive. Even though he does get hit at times, he definitely comes back with a barrage of punches from all angles. And what can you expect? He comes in, he's well conditioned, he takes the sport seriously, and I think his father is his trainer. Correct too. That's correct, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I mean, and what else can you say? This is one of those father-son relationships that really has transcended and worked. So I give him a vote for Fight of the Year, and I think he's gonna do very well. I just hope they don't want to try and make him become a middleweight or welterweight right away. I think he's very comfortable right there. He fights, and he's going to be a world beater right there.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that. And I think he's going to prove a lot of what you just said this year coming up. I mean, do you think he could have a better year than he just had?
Maybe 4 title defenses, but I'll tell you what. No, I like a fighter who keeps active, and he fights every couple of months, and he puts it on the line, and he's just got to keep lining him up and knocking him down, and he'll be the fighter of the year for 2018 if he continues to do that. I think he's a young fighter in the sense where with his professional career and the amount of fights, he's got plenty ahead of him. Even though he's had a world of experience as an amateur, I can only see this guy not even peaking just yet. I think he's got a couple good years in the ring to give us all the great fights that we're going to look to see from him.
Another thing I wanted to bring up is, the former WBO flyweight champion, Zou Shiming. He was an Olympic gold medalist, started late, basically lost his last fight. They brought in a slug to fight him, and he ended up losing, and he was trying to get the WBO to order a rematch, and they said no. Well, it was reported last week that he lost sight in his left eye. which most likely will end his career. He's going to go under, some evaluation to see if they can, if it's a retina situation or whatever. But it kind of made me wonder, Sal. Here's a guy months after a fight, and all of a sudden he loses sight in the eye. To me, that's clearly damage from the ring. It just seemed to take time before it really magnified.
Yes, but we see that. We don't know when those effects of the fights prior to a condition will catch up with you, and it's like the cracked egg syndrome. You tip or the cracked glass syndrome. You tip a glass over, it doesn't shatter, but it might have a little hairline crack. You tip it over again, it's going to shatter. But this could have been something that was definitely coming on and just tipped over the glass one too many times, and boom, it caught up. That's not a great analogy, but definitely, boxing's not a sport for those that don't want to put it on the line, because it's definitely a dangerous sport.
We're going to take a short break. When I come back, Floyd Mayweather had some comments about Anthony Joshua, and they're interesting. One thing I wanted to add just before I take a break here, Alexander Dimitrenko, he's a heavyweight ranked, at least in the IBF, at number 8. He has a record of 40 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw. And the draw he picked up on Saturday, December 23rd, when he fought a late substitute who was undefeated going into the ring, Mijan Rovkanin, is 18-0 with a draw. This is a guy that many people thought would make a run at a world heavyweight title. I don't know anything about his opponent, but I think the time is pretty much up for the 6'8" fighter. All 3 of his losses were against decent or better than decent opposition, and all of his wins seem to come against less than stellar opponents. But anyway, hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. When I come back, Floyd Mayweather was vocal with the potential fight between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. I think it was kind of surprising to hear what he had to say, at least to me. I'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Need relief from backaches and stiffness in your hips or down your legs? Then you need Dr. Ho's Back Relief Belt. The innovative technology works to support and decompress your spine. And now it's covered by Medicare.
Every patient with back pain should be wearing this belt.
Nothing gave me instant relief except for the Dr. Ho belt.
Feel good while standing, walking, driving, doing housework, and while laying down. And now Dr. Ho's patented belt is available at our best price ever. It's even covered by Medicare. Order now and get the easy-to-use hand pump and back rehabilitation DVD free.
Similar belts can cost you almost $1,000, but my belts won't cost you $500, not $300, not even $200. I will give you my special TV price.
And remember, Dr. Ho's belt is covered by Medicare.
If you know a friend or family member that suffers with pain, get them my system today. Help them live with less pain, be more active, and get back to doing the things they love. Give them the gift of health.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Now back to Talking Boxing with Billy C., the only radio host man enough to take a punch from Mike Tyson.
Wait a minute, man. Hold on there. Jeremy, man, I need you to take this one, all right?
Wait, what? No way. I can't do this.
Need I remind you I'm Billy C., damn it? Now put on that mustache and get in there.
Hey, Hey, look at me. I'm Billy C. Crap.
The undisputed heavyweight champion of Boxing Talk Radio. It's Talking Boxing with Billy C.
Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us. And we're this week. We're off a day. Obviously, we're not off another day. I'm saying we're off our. You see what I'm saying? I can't, Sal. I can't. I'm a little rusty. I'm a little rusty, to be honest with you, man.
Hey, let me tell you something. I'm a little rusty too. I'm just getting behind it. Charge. I'm on my third cup of coffee. It's just starting to kick in.
Yeah, well, you'll be running to the bathroom with sized coffees like that. But Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather. Listen, anybody that watches or listens to this show knows I'm not a fan of Floyd Mayweather. And I also believe that Floyd Mayweather was pretty smart or slick, or whoever advised him. I don't think it was him personally, but whoever advised him to choose the path in which he did. The guy made a ton of money fighting less than stellar opponents, never really going after the best of the best. But it is what it is. But deep down, Floyd Mayweather knows this sport. He wouldn't have been able to carry that, to pull that off if he didn't. And, with a lot of the stuff that goes on with Deontay Wilder, it almost seems like he's trying to follow Floyd Mayweather's path of, cherry picking and fighting the easiest opponents and pounding his chest saying he's the best. We've seen Floyd in the past criticize other fighters for doing what he successfully did, but he came out and made a comment about Anthony Joshua against Deontay Wilder, and he said, he goes, well, this is a quote from Floyd. He said, "I truly believe that Anthony Joshua is the A side of a fight between Deontay Wilder and AJ. Why? Because he has a huge following. He has a country behind him. Look at the numbers he's getting. If the fight does happen, I think it can happen in the UK. I think it's bigger money in the UK. That's just my opinion." He says, "I think everybody's overlooking Anthony Joshua. This is a guy that's a gold medalist. We look at Deontay Wilder's last fight, and he went out there and done what the F he was supposed to do in great fashion. When you look at the guy he fought, the guy he fought was 6 feet tall, if that, and 40 years old. You got to realize Anthony Joshua showed heart of a lion, got hit by one of the Klitschko brothers, got right back up, and kept fighting like a warrior. Joshua, he can give it, but he can also take it. It's going to be a hell of a fight. Anthony Joshua, he's a knockout artist. Deontay Wilder, he's a knockout artist." I got to be honest with you, Sal. To me, that's one of the most realistic statements I've ever heard come out of Floyd Mayweather's mouth.
I thought he was listening to the show.
To tell you the truth, there's no criticism from me in Floyd there, because Floyd is telling it like it is. Although he didn't do the same thing for himself, I 100% back what he's saying about this. And I think Deontay Wilder needs to listen up too, because Deontay Wilder, he's got the pop, he's got the, mindset of a champion. But the truth of the matter is he hasn't fought anybody, and he's not even a big draw. The truth of the matter is Floyd. Get ready to what I'm going to say. Floyd Mayweather's right, Sal. But Anthony Joshua is the A side. There's no question that AJ's the A side. What's your thoughts, Sal?
I concur on every sentence that came from Floyd Mayweather's mouth. I think he spoke it black and white, true to be, and I agree with him 100%.
Yeah, there's not much
I thought he was listening to the show for all the words he said.
There's not much else you can say, really. But Anyway, one other thing I wanted to mention on the news front, Holyfield, Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing announced that they're going to be doing a welterweight tournament for the WBC. They've teamed up with the WBC. It's a 3-round, 8-man, single elimination style tournament, which they're going to call the Jose Suleiman's World Invitational. It's open to all world-class fighters who qualify with a ranking in the top 40 by the WBC. So just as a WBC, top 40 welterweights, pretty much anybody can join this tournament, I think, Sal.
I'm going to see if I can put an application in.
Yeah, I think you have a shot because top 40 in the WBC welterweights. That's a lot of fighters. First round, the fighters are going to receive $15,000 with the winner getting a bonus of $7,500. This is something that you've talked about extensively.
Yes.
The second round will net a $30,000 purse for both, with the winner receiving a $15,000 bonus.
I love it.
And then the third round, which is the finals, each fighter will receive $75,000, and the winner receiving another $25,000 victory bonus. I love that format.
I love that.
And
I love it.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're giving more money to the winners. What's your thoughts? I know you love that.
You know I do. I mean, that's why they call it prize fighting. You fight for the prize, and the winner should get the larger prize, of course. And we're talking about money. And I agree 100%. That's boxing. Give the incentive. The winner gets the larger amount of money and a bigger purse. So I think that's right on my alley. I can't wait to see this whole series.
Well, back in the day, when during the time of Tom Molyneux, the guy I wrote my book on, the winner got all the money, and the losers they took up a collection. They'd pass a hat around for the loser, and these were death fights. I mean,
they were.
Not everybody made it out of there unscathed. So. Amazing stuff. But we got some emails to read. You want to read some emails?
Love to read emails.
All right. This first one's from my man Mike from Michigan. He says, "Hey, Billy C, I've never seen this." He's talking about Lomachenko as the subject. "I've never seen this. I've never seen a fighter as good as Lomachenko. From when film began, I've just never seen anybody as talented, period." He says he is the essence of what the sweet science is. It's something on a level we have never seen, or at least I've never seen. He's the one. P.S. I hope all is well. I hope all is well with you too, Mike. I don't know. It's hard to disagree with a statement like that. I mean, the essence of the sweet science, I think he's a pretty good example of what the true definition is. What's your thoughts, Sal?
Well, I'm a big fan of Lomachenko, and yes, I say pound for pound right now, he's one of my favorite fighters. I mean, he does it all, and I don't know if you can actually say the essence, but he definitely personifies and is depicted as an all-around great fighter, great boxer, and the sweet science. Definitely, he could be included in that name under the definition of the sweet science.
For sure. We got another. Thanks for the email, Mike. We got another email. This is from your man. He says, "Hey, Billy C. and my friend Sal." This is from Cutman, Mikey Rella. He says, "Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you guys. I just wanted to check in and give you guys a few fights that I'd like to see in 2018. Joshua versus Wilder, Thurman versus Spence, and Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia. I would also like to see Terrence Crawford fight at 147. However, he needs to fight smaller welterweights because the bigger guys will give him trouble. Also, look for me in the corner of Luis Collazo and Danny Jacobs at the Barclays Center. They're fighting in March and April, respectively. All the best. Seasons beatings." My man, Cutman Rella, I will be looking for him for sure in Danny Jacobs' corner and Luis Collazo. I agree with him I'd love to see Joshua Wilder, Thurman Spence, and Lomachenko against Mikey Garcia, even though I think Garcia is too big for Lomachenko. But I disagree with him about the Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, he decides to move up to 147. That means he needs to fight 147 guys. To say that he needs to fight smaller welterweights because the bigger guys are going to give him trouble, I don't like that. Because if you're going to go up in weight and you're going to fight in a weight class, 147 is the weight limit. That's who you got to fight. That's where these guys that can, lose the weight and dehydrate down to 147 for the weigh-in and then rehydrate up to 190. That's their bodies can do it. What's your thoughts about him saying maybe he shouldn't fight the bigger welterweights?
Well, then he should stay as a junior welterweight. I mean, it is. I don't like the whole day before weigh-ins for simply the reason you said. When you have a weigh-in the morning of the fight, you can rehydrate, you can do what you have to do, but you're probably going to be within 10 pounds of your weight class by the time you step in a ring 12 hours later, 14 hours later. And I think it's a more realistic way to keep fighters within their natural weight or within a weight that is satisfactory for all parties involved with the fight. And I think his statement, you can't become a welterweight champion not having to face every welterweight out there, including the larger ones who do the weight gaining after the fights. So you got to be ready to fight everyone. Maybe he meant his early fights just to get adjusted to a lighter weight or smaller welterweight. But he's going to have to face every big, small, middle heavy, welterweight.
Well, that's what it is. That division goes by, like all divisions, goes by weight. Yeah. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. He's going to have to face anybody that can make the welterweight limit.
Right. We got an email from my man Mitch, and he says, well, this is about Floyd Mayweather. And he had made a statement saying that Floyd Mayweather pretty much is a guy who, just like I thought, has been along the fraudulent side when you look at, who he's fought, what the other opportunities were. And Mitch went out of his way here. He says, upon my research, my eyes may be deceiving me, but I'm going through this, so, I may be wrong, but check it out. At first glance, Floyd Mayweather seems to have never unified with another champion until Carlos Baldomir. He says, mind you, I was reading fast, so if this is inaccurate, I apologize. He says, but if it's true, this has to be the dictionary definition of a great fighter cherry picking. He says that means he won or defended 22 times without unifying. That's incredible. Most people count Baldomir as a unification, but he retained the IBO and won the WBC and IBA from Baldomir. The IBA and IBO doesn't count. I think that the IBO does count. And Floyd had the IBO belt, but the IBA certainly doesn't count. And Carlos Baldomir was clearly the easiest fight for him to become a welterweight champion at that time. Carlos Baldomir, a stationary target, no match for Floyd. Anyway, so he says, would have to go to the Canelo fight to truly say the first time he unified, meaning fought another champion in weight class, and even that was a catchweight. Two things to add. He says, first, he was called the lineal champion in those fights. For example, when he fought Mosley, there was no WBC, IBF, WBA, or WBO belt on the line, yet the winner was recognized as the lineal welterweight champion. Secondly, if you take away the fact that some of those titles were either the challenger or fought for a vacant title, like a non-champion, I can't count those in the 22, but it's still a very high number in the teens. I also can't count, for example, when he beat Zab Judah. By beating Zab Judah, he won the IBF and vacant IBO title. So let's pretend the IBO was the WBA belt. It's still not a unification with another champ because the belt was vacant. This is an incredible statistic about Floyd Mayweather. Numbers don't lie. These numbers do tell a great story. Tyson unified or attempted to unify with other champions in his class. Evander unified or attempted to unify. Tarver unified or attempted to unify. Roy Jones, Pernell Whitaker, Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao, Terrence Crawford, Biha. All these guys are great, and they tried to be great, and in order to do so, they unified with some becoming undisputed world champions. Floyd was a 12-time champion in 5 different weight classes. I can't believe that he only has a couple of unifications. That's interesting. But we have been saying all along that he was a master at you know, I hate to use the word cherry picking, but I will. At cherry picking opponents. He made the most money for the least amount of effort. What do you think on all the research my man Mitch did here, Sal?
Mitch did a world of research, and boy, I appreciate that. But you want to know why boxing's so convoluted or hard to follow today? That was like a bouncing ball. You had it. It's crazy. I mean, I look back at there should be one belt, but it's never going to happen. But that was a real. Oh man, I can't believe all the research he put into that. But he is true with that, and Floyd has another one in his quiver right there with all the belts and all the titles.
Geez, he puts in more research than you do on a daily basis.
Well, you know what? On a daily basis, I think he put a little more effort into that than what I am allowed to do. Let me tell you,
I got one more.
The bouncing ball.
Yeah, it was hard to. I got one more email. This is from my man Johnston, and Johnston has a column up on Billy C. Boxing. He says, Happy New Year, Billy C. and Sal. Well, what a 2017 we had. And over 5 months ago, I said it was the best year of boxing since 1997. And although it was a great year, I still don't think it quite matched up. Here are my 20 best fights from each year. And in my opinion, this is Johnston, 97 edges it out. In 1997, Lotta, Lewis McCall, Foreman Briggs, James Toney, Mike McCallum, Jones Jr. against Griffin 1, Jones Jr. against Griffin 2, Calzaghe, Eubank, Camacho, Leonard, Hopkins, Johnson, De La Hoya, Whitaker, De La Hoya, Camacho, Gotti, Rualis, Hamed against Kevin Kelly, Zaragoza against Morales, Junior Jones against Barrera 2, Junior Jones against McKinney, Hernandez against Nelson, and Romero against Johnny Tapia. Those are some great fights from 1997. You remember them?
Oh yeah, those were fantastic fights. That's and 97 was that's going back 20 years.
Yeah, it's amazing that it's been 20 years. Foreman Briggs was a great fight.
Yes, it was.
And that was when Briggs was, not as nutty as he is now. Of course, Tyson Holyfield, the Mora fight against Holyfield, Louis Galata. Andrew Galata, he could arguably be one of the most wasted talents to ever put on a pair of boxing gloves. I mean, this guy, if he just, I don't know if his discipline was a little better. De La Hoya, Camacho. Camacho was still past his prime. Even though, man, Hector Camacho fought for so many years. It's unbelievable. Johnny Tapia, great fights. In 2017, his top 20, Anthony Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko. Hey, Bellew, what's wrong with Johnston? This guy's dead to me now, Sal. I mean, give me a break.
No, he's not. Come on now.
Well, he did put just for entertainment value.
See, there you go. That's redemption.
I don't know. David Hay is such a fraud.
Come on.
DeGal against Badeau Jack. That was a great fight. A lot of people forget that because it happened in January of last year. Ward Kovalev 2. You look at that fight, and you got to give the accolades to Andre Ward for that fight, saying he was going to knock out Kovalev and doing so. On the other hand, you look at Kovalev and you say, man, I know both Sal and myself, we lost a lot of respect for Kovalev quitting. I don't know. I guess you got to give it credit to Andre in that one. David Lemieux, Billy Joe Saunders. That wasn't such a great fight when it comes to both fighters. When you look at Anthony Joshua against Vladimir Klitschko, it was a great performance by both fighters. Not a one-sided fight by any stretch of the imagination. In the both Ward Kovalev and Billy Joe Saunders, David Lemieux fight, Sal, they were one-sided. I mean, you have to give credit to the winners in both those fights, but they were one-sided battles. Fight of the year to me should include, fights that were back and forth, as you like to say so often, ebb and flow.
The ebb and flow. Absolutely.
What do you think?
No, I think you're right. I follow your bouncing ball there, and that concept a lot easier. Yeah, I definitely don't think Lemieux and he didn't show much effort on his end. So how can you say it was that competitive of a fight? It wasn't was one for me to watch, and some of the other ones out there were a little more entertaining. But I agree with you.
Let's see. He's got some other ones here. Let's see. I lost my place. Oh, here we go. Triple G, Danny Jacobs.
It's a good fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight. Definitely a good fight. Canelo against Triple G, of course.
Good fight. Not great fight, but good fight.
Kaitrov against Canelo Triple G? That was a good fight. We didn't like the result.
It was a good fight. I said it was a good fight. It wasn't a great fight. It was a very good fight. I expected more.
We expected more from Triple G.
That's what I expected. Yes, I still say that he won that fight. I still think he did enough to win that fight, but I expected him to close out the fight a little bigger, a little larger.
Kaitrov against Aleem. He puts a note here. The second round saw 200 punches thrown. There's only 180 seconds in a round. What a fantastic fight. If anybody hasn't seen it, watch it. That's amazing that 180 seconds in a round, and there were more punches thrown than seconds in a round.
That's
pretty cool.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
He's got Thurman Garcia, Brooks Spence Jr., Jeff Horn, Manny Pacquiao, Porter Berto, Crawford Ndongo, Broner Garcia, Lomachenko Rigondeaux, Linez Crawler, Santa Cruz Frampton. That's a fight, again, it was in the beginning of the year that people forgot. Burnett Zakyanov, Gonzalez Wangit, the first one, and Connor Ben Pinard fight, which won Fight of the Year over in England. He says, what do you think? I hope 2018 is even better. What do I think overall, 2017 versus 1997? I don't know, man. That's a tough one because there were some great fights in 2017, substantial, meaningful fights. And I got news for you. As much as I'm a huge Tyson fan, and I actually liked the Shannon Briggs from the late 90s versus today. And I was a De La Hoya fan. I loved Hector Camacho. I don't know. I think people are going to be shocked at my answer here, Sal. But I think 2017 was a better year for fights than 1997. What do you think?
I tend to agree with you because they're fresher, so we have them more readily available to recall in our minds. But we had a competitive year. We said all throughout last year that this is the year that boxing, as I was saying earlier, rebooted itself. And we had fighters challenging themselves. We had fighters that were significantly stepping it up and looking to bring out their best. And I think it was a great year, fantastic year. Do I think 2018 can top it? I don't know. It's going to be a hard one to top. I think we're going to see some big fights, meaningful fights. But as far as the excitement and the value, like I said, if we can benchmark call 2017 the reboot year to benchmark, then we're going to resurrect boxing. We're going to see it unfold and gain its statue back right where it should be.
You know, I've said this a lot, and I know it follows what I say about not being a Floyd Mayweather fan, but it just seems to me that when Floyd is not active in the ring, when he's not boxing, we seem to have a better matches. When he decides to come back, it seems like everything is put on hold in the sport. Other great fights aren't made and stuff. So with that said, you know, one of my wishes for 2018, Sal, would be for Floyd Mayweather to focus on Mayweather Promotions, because I think Floyd Mayweather, with his knowledge of the sport, and you know the fact that he's the Mayweather name is so prominent in boxing and professional boxing, I think that he should take that ball and run with it. I think that he should try to focus his ego, which we all know he has, and get his juice, get his reward to feed that ego with his promotional company. I think he needs to not consider coming back, even though people do throw buku dollars at the guy. I mean, he can make $100 million for stepping back in the ring. If I'm Floyd Mayweather, I take the same pride I took in trying to, win and not lose and keep my O intact, and use that same ego/pride and develop Mayweather Promotions to be a real promotional company. And I say real, I know it's a real company now, but I mean a substantial top-level promotional company. Right now you're looking at Golden Boy and Top Rank as the two tops. Mayweather Promotions could very easily be in the same breath as those two. It's got to start with Floyd letting go of trying or being fearful, what it appears to me, and this is my opinion, he appears to be fearful of bringing in talent that might supersede his own for when he was in the sport. And I think if he can let that go, Sal, and focus and use his competitiveness, which he clearly has, as a promoter, and use the competitiveness to put on great events and sign fighters who are willing to fight and make these mega fights happen, I think it would be great, not only for his own his own self, but for the sport itself. And if anybody owes something back to the sport, and I say it's Floyd Mayweather. And the reason why I say that is because he's been made, and now granted, he made a lot of moves on his own to get where he is today. But Floyd Mayweather owes a lot to the sport of boxing, Sal. And I think that if he focused on Mayweather Promotions, we could be in a good position having three big boys playing, putting the fights together. It just levels the playing field. It's not good when you have one or two running the show, because then you end up with stagnation. And is that a word?
I can accept that, Slip Mahoney.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a word. But I mean, what do you think, man? What do you think?
I think we got a perpendiculator on that one. Yeah. See what we come up with. I'll tell you what. Floyd has a great opportunity to get off the ground with his promotional outfit. Now, you also, we got to throw in the mix main events. They're still up there. They're still alive. So I think, having four great promotional outfits would be a real way to bring some big fights to us. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Floyd Mayweather doing some color commentary either. Doing some things here, get his ego and get his opinion, because he is a knowledgeable guy. He does know the fight game. So, I think his fans and his ego would probably feed well into that. Maybe we'll see him turn up on HBO or Showtime once in the blue moon.
I hope not, because these guys that do that, it's not like us. When we do a broadcast or we do commentating, we're doing it real. We don't have any what do they call those things? Prompters in front of us. We don't have all the things. And they do on those bigger networks.
Yeah, they do.
I know when I did Sports Channel event up in Canada once, they had a little prompter for us telling us, what they wanted to say or whatever. The funny thing is that Floyd can't read. So, I mean, how's he going to do that? What are they going to do? Make symbols for him?
No, come on now. Give Floyd a little more credit than that. The guy, I think he would do very well. I think they would go off the cuff and they'll get his opinion. They'll ask him and he'll voice his opinion. I think he would do very well. I think he could do very well. Find a nice little gig on the side. Not every fight, but some significant fights, they could bring him in and say, hey, Floyd, what do you think about this? What's your opinion about that? Who do you think is going to do this and that? I think he doesn't need a chart for that, and he could do whatever he'd like to do to give his opinion and his assessment of what's going on.
Floyd would say, "How much you gonna pay me to do that?"
Well, sure he will.
You can't pay me enough.
Part of it, man.
Yeah, but they're not gonna pay him enough. They're not gonna.
Well,
pay
then
him
he won't be there.
Exactly. Then he won't be there.
See, you had nothing to worry about.
I know. But anyway, hey, listen. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little boxing. What do you think? You think we're in the mood
it's
for
a good
boxing?
topic. I think we should start delving into that.
I think we should. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Billy C will be right back. Part of the Billy C Boxing Network.
Listen to this important message. If you owe money to the IRS, you will want to hear this. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms, and if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars. Call Tax 10,000 at 800-773-4604.
This is important news for women using birth control medications and devices. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with a pseudotumor after using one of these birth control drugs or devices, you may be eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Contact the law firm of Davis & Crump right now if you or a loved one have used one of these birth control medications or devices and were diagnosed with a pseudotumor to see if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Broken air conditioning, $4,400. Failing refrigerator, $2,500. Don't let outrageous repair and replacement bills like these bust your budget. Get the First American Home Warranty Plan. And when a covered appliance or system breaks, we'll repair it or replace it for you.
We had a high-end dishwasher go kaput. They put it in a brand new dishwasher.
We have plans that cover air conditioning, most appliances, plus heating, plumbing, electrical systems, and much more. Plans start as low as $25 a month. Why let a major appliance or system breakdown bust your budget or go through the hassle of finding trustworthy service people? Last year alone, we saved our customers over $120 million. Don't wait until something breaks and you're stuck with a huge bill.
You save a lot of money. It's absolutely worth it.
If you don't have First American warranty, get it.
Call 1-800-946-6234 for your free no-obligation quote.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you!
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. He may not have an Excellence in Broadcasting award, but the night's still young.
And he's got martinis.
So you never know what may be by morning. It's Talkin' Boxing with Billy C.
Talkin' Boxing with Billy Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Hey, don't forget, we want you to join us on January 19th in St. Simon, or at St. Simon, on St. Simon, on St. Simon's Island at the Sea Palms Resort. Sal and I are going to be doing another episode of Billy C's Boxing Revisited, and we want you to be part of our live audience. We're going to show you not one, not two, not three, but 4 classic fights that you'll be able to watch and enjoy. We're going to have some food laid out for you and a cash bar. You'll get to rub elbows with a former world champion or two. And we're looking forward to another great time. Now, if you missed the last one we did at the Sea Palms, you missed a good time. Don't miss this one. It's our After the Holidays holiday party. Just go to cpalms.com and call up and tell them you want to book a room for the Billy C event on Friday, January 19th. And, of course, we're going to invade Sal's restaurant. Right, Sal?
Absolutely. We'll be there with bells and whistles, literally bells, ding, 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 you know that. And we'll be showing fights and everything else. We'll have a good time.
Hey, listen, just so you guys know, we made some changes for 2018. We got some new segments coming on, and one that's I'm really excited about that we're going to debut next week is Fights That Never Were. You know what I mean? I mean, fights that we always wanted that never were. For an example, and I'm not saying this is one of them, but for example, I've always felt that Floyd Mayweather should have fought Triple G. I feel that fight was parallel to what Sugar Ray Leonard did when he came out of retirement and fought Marvelous Marvin Hagler. For people that say, oh, well, Mayweather's just a little guy, Triple G's so big. That's not true. Triple G has shown that he's not a big middleweight. Big middleweight, Danny Jacobs is a big middleweight, you want to go back, Iran the Blade Barkley was a big middleweight, fights like that. Anyway, we're going to take a fight that may have never happened. Another one that people have mentioned all the time is Mike Tyson against George Foreman. And we are going to break it down, and it's going to be kind of fun because it's going to have myself and Sal and Dax Khan and Alex Perpali all on at the same time, and we're all going to give you our thoughts of how the fight would have went if they indeed fought, our opinions of how the fight would have went and who would have won. Then at the end, or actually Alex's job here, is going to be to play the fight in the Title Bout Championship computer game, let the computer decide, and he will be calling the fight for us basically round by round, telling us how it went. And I'm looking forward to this. Sal, what do you think, man? I mean, it's kind of an interesting...
we talk about that. We've talked about that. Why there was never a Kenny Norton-Joe Frazier fight. That would have been a great fight. And one of my favorites, I can't wait to see Alex plug this into his magic boxing machine, would be at their prime as a lightweight. I want to see Roberto Duran versus Julio Cesar Chavez as lightweights in their peak.
Yeah, my man Randy Gordon, who's watching right now on our Facebook
Gordon
simulcast, he just brought up a real good one. Larry Holmes against George Foreman, another fight that never took place.
Be a great fight. Be a great fight.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for that segment. But anyway, listen. This week we got kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? Splintered week.
Stagnant?
No, stagnation. One of the guys in the chat room said stagnation is actually a country where all the male deers go. To stagnation, but anyway.
Oh, easy, okay.
No, deer are called stags.
Yeah.
I don't know. I call them deer. Me personally, I call them deer, but whatever. But anyway, the bottom line is we got some new stuff coming. There's some also a couple other segments I won't get into right now, but we will be unveiling them. For anybody that's watching on our Facebook feed, you will notice that you have a much better camera feed. Although today with the sun shining through the studio windows here, you may not be noticing it, but it's trust me when I tell you, it's a much better camera and feed. So we're excited about that and a bunch of other stuff. But let me just say this: a couple of things happened on this day, early day of the new year. On January 2nd, in 1978, Gutty Espadas knocks out Kimio Furusawa in the 7th round to retain his WBA World Flyweight title. It took place in Tokyo, Japan. Japan has made it's a regular thing. They do those New Year's Eve fights, and we had some good ones again this year. Unfortunately, I didn't give you any results, but they're always good. They're always good down in Japan, But also on this day, January 2nd, in 1957, Gene Fullmer wins a 15-round decision over the best ever Sugar Ray Robinson to win the world middleweight title. It took place at Madison Square Garden in New York City on this day in 1957. I wonder if boxing will ever get back to having major events on holidays. Typically now, it's the death sentence if you try to schedule something around Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's, with the exception of Japan. Real quick, you think that there's a possibility that they could ever be successful, or has life just gotten too busy?
I don't think so, because we're too caught up into making our own plans to do things that we are looking forward to the holidays. I think that era is gone, and I hope someone can prove me wrong. But no, I think we're too wrapped up in our, it's like John Lennon. Life is what happens while you're making other plans, and I think we're too caught up. You show a fight on Christmas. Well, we got to go there by Aunt Betty's. We got to do this. We got that party to go to. We got this and that. Oh, we got to get something for the kids. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen anymore. Not on a big day. If it does happen, I'd welcome it. But you know what? We got to center too many things around what we already have in our minds as far as what we're going to do to make plans on the holidays like that.
Well, that's a shame, because other sports, people do it. Like football.
Well, look at yesterday. Can I tell you? Can I say something? If you're not going to say it, if you're going to say it, just shut me up.
Go ahead, say it.
Do you know? I growing up in the Northeast, I wasn't much of a college football fan. I'm a big, professional football fan.
Roll Tide.
Well, not only Roll Tide, but did you see our Georgia Bulldogs yesterday dismantle and beat Oklahoma?
Time out.
Unbelievable. I was so excited.
Obviously.
And you had a freshman quarterback who played high school football last year against the Heisman Trophy winner. And he just... Oh, my gosh. What an exciting game, Bill. Overtime. And the Georgia Bulldogs won the championship, and they're going to go to the Nationals next time.
Yeah, and they're playing
Alabama.
I was
so excited. Guess what? Evander Holyfield's son plays for the Georgia Bulldogs.
That's right.
And he did a great job.
But let me
And
just,
another thing.
Wait, no, you're done. Listen, here's the thing. First of all, I'm a big college football guy. My top 3 favorite college football teams: Alabama number 1, Boise State number 2, and Georgia Bulldogs, because of you and everybody down there that I love, is my 3rd favorite college team. Now, as far as Georgia dismantling Oklahoma, I think that was a very poor choice of words.
I overchomped at the bit, okay?
That was a very bad choice of words. The Oklahoma jumped out to a big lead in that game.
Big lead.
Georgia came back, and in the second half, in case you didn't watch it all, I did. And in the second half, Georgia came back and was pretty much beating the hell out of Oklahoma until the very end. They let Oklahoma get right back in it. Fromm threw that interception. And, next thing you know, the game is tied and we're going into overtime. But there is no doubt about it that the excitement level of that overtime win, especially how they won with that touchdown at the end. They just punched their ticket to the national championship. And who are they going to play? My favorite college football team, Alabama, who had another display of defense against Clemson yesterday. What an exciting game that was, to me anyway. And what I heard, out of the whole game, I heard one thing that the announcer said that really struck me. He said, during the home stretch of the college football season, Alabama's defense looked tired. They were, maxed out. They were, offenses were catching up to them in the second half and everything else. He said they looked refreshed last night, and they did. And it's going to be interesting to see, because Alabama did suffer a couple of major injuries to their defensive unit, not only during the season but last night. It's going to be interesting to see if Georgia, whose head coach used to be the defensive coordinator of Alabama, can stop Alabama. And Alabama, who's good against the run, they got to be able to stop that three-headed attack of Georgia. They have three great running backs, but like you mentioned, Jake Fromm, I think his first name is Jake, isn't it?
Where's he from?
He's from but the thing is, they got even a better quarterback sitting on the bench, Eason.
Yeah,
I love Jacob Eason, but anyway, that wasn't even fun. That wasn't even funny. You know what, Sal? Now we got to end the show because you went too far. You went too far, Cenicola.
Too far.
But anyway, hey, listen, boys and girls, we're going to be back on our normal schedule. Normal times, everything else. There's a little rust, a little bumps in the road here after a long winter's nap, and I feel like taking another long winter's nap. It's freezing up here, but the bottom line is, hey, make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, I'll leave you with this. Ciao, baby.